Join Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
Everybody, what's good with you? Hey, Sean and Brad, Guys Beer Sports, back season 3, episode 2. I hope, anyway,
you were
coming
right.
to you live from the west coast of North America to the east coast of North America. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Last full weekend in August, and so here we are. Sean, good morning.
How you doing, buddy? No,
man,
it's just before afternoon. You snuck it in there. It's perfect.
Yeah, it feels just almost like Christmas, doesn't it? Because the NFL's kicking off for mid-preseason, right? They got the good games coming. Cuts are coming. A couple weeks from kickoff. College football starting. We got Major League Baseball playoffs. And as always, the fight game is strong and is going, right? So, man, what a time to be alive.
Like right now, okay, so we went to go see Blue Jays, right? Not that long ago, a couple of weeks back, me and a buddy of mine, because they were hot in the wild card race, right?
Yeah, they were until you went, and then they kind of just...
Yeah, we're on the downward spiral right now. And then I just saw that they just tried to sign Gerard. No, not tried. They did. They signed Gerard Dyson. Yeah, Gerard Dyson, because he was placed on waivers. Like, that's going to help. Anyways, I'm hoping that because of their continuing spiral downwards, that we might be able to get some more tickets or at least go to another game.
Yeah. How very chivalrous of you to think that.
I know. Well,
it's fun to watch. My Mariners are going to be famous to flame out. They have a fantastic record for the Mariners. So we're all enjoying that. But at the same time,
man, the Mariners
they're going to break our heart.
They're they're sort of in it. They're ahead of Toronto, so that must mean
we're doing
something.
better than you. Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like someone said that was going to happen, but I don't remember. Maybe we could go check the tape.
I know. I think it's going to be tough to catch Boston and Boston and New York. Like
Boston's 5-5 in their last 10. No one's catching New York, right? 13 in a row. They're just they've been reeling it off. Yeah, they're just fire. They're smoking everybody. So I think that's out. Boston's 5-5. Sorry, Reed, cover your ears. I think that we can catch it's possible, right? Boston's got to come here for 3. In about 2.5 weeks, and that might be where it all hinges, at least from a Mariner perspective. So
you got to do the exact same thing next week, buddy. You got to end up. You have to curse. You have to curse Reed now. That's it.
I'm going to.
You have to.
It's all friendly till the teams start mattering, and then it's in. That's how we get between the lines these days.
Hey, man. Check this out.
Yeah.
This is an actual CFL jersey.
Yeah, it doesn't have a number on it. It's weird.
Nothing.
It's the silliest thing. It's like, Major League Soccer is my 4th favorite sport, right in front of hockey. But
hey, but the Argos?
Weird to me. Yeah, that's 8th or 9th. Right behind cricket. Shout out to Reese. It's interesting to me though that we sell these jerseys that don't have numbers on them or anything, right?
Yeah.
Like they do it. I've seen it in hockey now with the Kraken jerseys, and Major League Soccer's big on it. Like you would never find that in football. Like it's just whatever. You're not wearing a jersey with no number on it. So it's dumb.
I think it's because you're supposed to create a number for yourself. And put your name.
Yeah, but it's not even that. They're just selling blanks, right? Like you can just order a blank.
Oh, that's really strange.
They don't even offer the ability to put a name and number on it. Like you just you're buying just a blank ass jersey like you're wearing right there, and it's terrible. Hey, real quick, shout out to Flyers, our sponsor. Food options, football starting, best place to watch a game on Whidbey Island. So go check our friends out there. And then also, we want to invite you guys if you're in the Portland area, Comic-Con. Portland Comic-Cons, we're going to find Bodega Brawl, and then it'll be live. Bodega Brawl is going to be the juggernaut of board games, folks. Check them out. They got some sweet merchandise too, so check them out. Facebook, Instagram. My favorite part is they support Apple Pay, so you can just order stuff from them directly and not have to get your credit card out of your wallet. So shout out to Andy and Pat and all the rest of them boys on getting a solid project going.
Yeah. He's on next week too, so to promote and talk some smack with us, I guess. So
talk some smack to you, but
at least.
me and Mahoney are tight. Lastly, shout out to Shave My Balls. It's Sean's favorite sponsor that we have.
Smooth my balls.
Clean.
Yeah,
smooth my balls. Shave
Get
my
it
balls.
right.
See, that's what you're here for. That's smoothmyballs.com/guys vs sports. Get you 50% off. So go see that. Stay fresh. You gotta stay fresh even in the wintertime. Ain't nothing like it. You just gotta be cozy. So
I like it because it's so close to like another ad with the eat fresh, stay fresh.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Subway-ish.
I really had no sleep here, so I have usual. Apologize. I'm just.
That's all right. Our energy is good today. That's all that matters. We'll correct
you're carrying this. You're carrying this today.
As usual. Well, as usual.
All right. Thank you for all of our sponsors. Yeah, it's great to have.
Sorry, Smooth My Balls. I associate you with something else. So my bad. Your product is amazing.
All right. So. The Dodgers and the Giants are running away with it. At some point, they're going to have to face each other. Probably in the I don't think it'd be in the divisional series, but probably in the championship series, they might face each other here.
Yeah.
In the National League. What happened to the Padres?
I think they lost some momentum. Pitching goes a little south. Tatis gets hurt. He's the driver in their clubhouse right now that he's getting out of the outfield and coming back to play shortstop again. I expect them to up their energy a little bit and kind of pick that up. He's been a little bit not the leader that he was.
Although his first game back, though, I think he had something ridiculous, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, but it's defense though. Their problem isn't scoring runs necessarily. It's the defense, right? And he brings so much to that chatter, and you can just see him on the outfield board and not being able to talk to anybody. You watch him when he's on. When he's talking to the second baseman and the umpire, second base, the third baseman, and the third base umpire, and whoever's on base, and the pitcher and the catcher, and he's out there just engaged and going. And now he's been in the outfield on his little rehab assignment. He has not been as engaged. And I think that team goes to his march. So it'll be interesting to see if they can pick up their momentum back again. I think they're probably the dark horse to, make some noise in the playoffs. But
if they make it that far, right now, they're there, right? They're
if they can pick it up and sneak in, I think you got to really watch out for them because I think they've got deep aspirations, but they just got to figure out how to turn it back on.
Because you still got the Reds. The Reds are still up there.
But no one in the East is doing anything, right?
No,
that's the thing.
No.
The American League is really the
thing.
Winners this year.
You want to sit there. I hate the Yankees, okay, but the 13-game winning streak. When's the last time you ever heard of a team doing that? It's crazy.
Yeah. No one gets together more than people that hate the Yankees, right? That's all of us.
Hey, what about the Orioles finally snapping that 19-game losing streak?
You knew it was going to happen at some point, but still 19 games.
And setting records. Setting records.
You should just stop cashing your check at some point, right?
But the way they celebrated, it's like they won the World Series.
They did. They won their World Series. They're getting out of the record book.
Please don't let it be down to 21. Please.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, it was
epic proportions.
Oh my goodness.
Not even competitive. It wasn't even competitive baseball. It wasn't like they're getting bad breaks and losing by a run. They were just getting smoked.
But it
early too.
It was Shohei Ohtani too, right? It's like the first time Shohei let in that many runs. But then he goes back the next day and he gets his 41st home run. So I'm sure he's not feeling that bad.
Legendary stuff for Mr.
Unbelievable. All right. Besides all that, we really have nothing else really to talk about in baseball until we start heading into the postseason. Things are starting to shape up. I do think Seattle's got a puncher's chance to make it. I think the Jays are going to be falling out.
Yeah, they won't. I can tell you right now they're not going to make it, but we're going to have fun pretending they're going to.
You're in a better shape than what we are, so that's all I can say.
Well, it's not saying a lot.
Oh man,
a lot of a lot of things going on in the NFL. A lot of just background noise too, with all these, positive cases and vaccines and all that noise. Stay away from that. What I want to know from you is, who do you think is going to be the surprise player, just for you personally?
As far as what, like
in the 21 season, who's just going to make a jump that's going to be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy, or oh, that guy finally is going to turn the corner, or that rookie is going to be on, or you know what I mean? Like something that comes out of this, like when the season's over, what's the one headline that you're going to be like, I saw that coming? And It's not, if you say Josh Allen for MVP, I swear to God, I'm leaving.
Well,
because that's not a far-fetched thing.
Like, it's not a far-fetched. It's not far-fetched.
It's not, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I want something. So, like, I'll tell you, here's mine, right? Yeah. Jameis Winston's going to lead the league in passing yards.
I mean, I could see it happening because he did it 2 years ago. So, he also led the league in interceptions. That same year.
Yeah, I know. Just listen. I'll go a step further. He will lead the league in passing yards, and he won't be top 10 in interceptions. How about that?
All right, that's good. Yeah, I can perhaps see that.
Yeah,
he has some talent. He has some talent with the wide receivers.
Bro, he's the number 1 overall pick. He won a Heisman Trophy.
Does that really matter?
He was one of the best college pitchers of his time. He's not just really. He's really good at throwing things.
Can you name me another number 1 pick that just was a bust as well?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Well, there was one.
Russell.
Yeah, but there was one specifically. I was thinking, well, that's true. Okay, you know what? That's actually more recent than what I was just thinking about.
Yeah, well, you're trying to get back in the time. You're going to get the time machine again.
Peyton Manning's draft year. Yeah. Oh, Ryan Leaf. I was trying to get the answer there. But, okay. For me, I'm thinking Teddy Bridgewater is going to lead the Denver Broncos to their first postseason in a long time.
All right.
I do. There's a reason why you're getting picked over Drew Lock, and it's not a bad thing for Drew Lock either, right?
No. I mean, listen, you can't forget that Teddy Bridgewater was an elite thing until he almost lost his leg. Like, you don't remember how catastrophic that knee injury was. He didn't he seriously was within minutes of having that leg amputated because of the blood flow loss. Like he's had to overcome a lot of things to get there. But prior to that injury, Teddy was doing some things.
That's exactly it. Yeah. But I honestly think he's going to be that breath of new life into a team as a starter. I really do think now you're going to see leaps and bounds. Yeah.
No, man, listen, Sean, I'm proud of you. Way to not be a homer and go somewhere in Buffalo or something. It's good. You're branching yourself out. I'm proud of you.
Man, thank you. Top wide receiver is going to be Stephon Diggs, though. Okay, there we go. How to get it out there. Boom. All right.
Yeah, but again, that's not a far-fetched thing, though.
It's not a far-fetched thing, but when I look at Aaron Rodgers now with the return of Randall Cobb, now he's got two options.
Sure. Yeah. Devontae Adams, we got to put some respect on his name. But I think that DK ends up with more yards than Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams.
Hey, it's his third year. I mean, he's got to take that next step, right? So
see what happens.
See what happens. There's a lot of people that are predicting that it's not Seattle going to be winning that, but actually the Niners for some strange reason.
Love it.
I would never even think the Niners. But I guess Trey Lance must be something. So
you have to remember that last year that the 49ers were decimated with injuries. I think they had 25 guys on IR, and I think maybe 18 of them were starters. And so, they're all back healthy. Figure it out. Let's see how it goes. I love it. I love the competition in that division.
Well,
it makes everybody better.
There's not much more to really talk about in the NFL right now, except for roster sizes and everything like that. I did want to ask you one question, though, because it's just so strange that if you get injured in the preseason, like ETN's out for the season, right? So that's one thing. But like, there's guys that got injured in the preseason that now, because they're not part of the 53-man roster, they have to be put under the permanent IR, even though they might be just gone for 4 weeks, and they could actually be picked up by another team. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm listening to this. I'm there going, how does this even work? Because you're not protected.
Well, you're not protected at that point. You're a free agent, but you're still on the injury settlement. I know somebody who played for an NFL team and had a hamstring injury and had them out to him. They ended up just with a injury settlement, and that was the end of their career.
Wow.
But it's a dirty game, man. It's a business.
It is. It is.
It's a pastime for you and I, but it's a business for some of them folks.
Absolutely.
Hey, really excited today. Really excited today. We got a great guest, right? And we're going to actually have a correspondence. So it's going to be you and our friend Reed are going to be interviewing Derek Clark of is it Fighter League Atlantic?
Fight League Atlantic, yeah.
Fight League Atlantic. See, close. I said fighter, not fight.
Yeah, podcast, and they also, if I understand, an amateur MMA league as well. So I'm really stoked. Reed's going to come in with that.
All right, let's throw it to Sean and Reed. Here comes Derek Clark.
Hey, everybody. We are here with Derek Clark and Reed Homer, our consultant of MMA over here. Yes. I know. I use that loosely, Reed. You know it, too.
It's been a while.
It has since like the last episode we ended up going out with. So that was awesome for season 2 finale. Derek Clark is, man, this guy, he ended up following us on Instagram. I was looking up his stuff. He is a local, and when I say local, in the Atlantic provinces and Nova Scotia particularly, fight promoter, Fight League Atlantic. They're about to do Fight League Atlantic 2 coming up on September 25th in Pictou County. Not only that, he's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well.
Black belt.
Oh, geez. Well, obviously my research is bad. I just demoted the man. I'm going to need a smack somewhere. They're probably I'm going to have to order you a virtual drink somehow.
It's professor now, okay? It's professor.
Yeah, that's it, right? And also on top of that, podcast extraordinaire, man. Derek, thanks for coming, man.
Hey, man, thanks very much, guys, for having us. For me, I guess. Nice to meet you. And yeah, I wish I had a beer. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Come on down to Lowell, Mass. I got plenty.
Oh, Lowell, Mass. Beautiful. Love that place. Beautiful place.
Oh, if you like fighting, you like Lowell.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I talked to actually Tyson Chartier and Rob Font and Calvin and those guys quite a bit.
Yep.
They're good guys. Yeah. They run that. Calvin owns. They're having an event coming up too soon. I can't remember the name of his brand, but
yeah, I think they're 617 Fight Club or something like that. They're the New England part of the New England cartel, loosely.
New England cartel. Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
Very, very talented cats.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Man, Derek, first off, I know you just taught a class and you came out here. The sun's in your eyes. I bet you wish you had sunglasses. Looks like a beautiful day there. Which part of Nova Scotia in there?
I'm actually home in Pictou, Nova Scotia for the weekend. So I do live in Halifax in Waverley in that area, but I'm here in Pictou, Nova Scotia for the weekend, just down by the water. The podcast, like I said, it kind of ahead of time, and then a few things kind of came up today. And my days a little bit, especially leading up to fight, they're crazy. It's a 24-hour day job dealing with stuff. And actually, from the minute you text me about 10 minutes ago, I lost a fight.
No.
So from that point until here, I was trying to get another fight back together. So it's like things change so quick, and you're always, But anyway, we're here, and yeah.
What you're saying, Derek, is that Sean's a jinx, right?
In a roundabout way, yes.
Oh, wow.
No. It's just like you kind of, that's the thing about this sport, and especially not just this sport, about like being a promoter, man. Like, it's like, I always try to compare it. I'm like, if you ever tried to organize a birthday party, like, yes. I'm like, okay, do that with like 1,500 people and people are fighting. And then you're dealing with the government. It's just a nonstop putting out fires, pretty much. So you always have to be. The more organized you are, the better the events are going to be.
That was one of the biggest questions I had for you, Derek, coming into this, because I remember when I was a much younger man and I was competing, we were fighting with the state of Massachusetts all the time, and our sanctioning body was actually the ISKA out of New Jersey, so they'd have to come up all the time and deal with that stuff, and we were literally down in Boston, demonstrating at the State House all the time, just trying to get them to put some things in place, because I was doing everything from smokers to closed door gym matches, so it was pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
with a pretty unruly crowd of people. So it was one of those things where I'm not a big government regulation guy, but just for the legitimacy of it, what does that look like in Canada, in Nova Scotia specifically?
It's interesting because like down in the United States, it's state to state, so everything's a little bit different. And obviously, Massachusetts being a pretty government, there's a lot of government stuff in Massachusetts. Obviously,
what Derek is trying to say, a nanny state. It's like,
well, it's it's one of the founding states of the whole thing, right?
They just want their money. They just want
the
their
loyalists, and yeah, exactly. Like it's just I don't know. Like up here, it's kind of the same. It's all bullshit, man. It's all commission. Like to be completely honest, sometimes like I also. People say to me all the time, like, you're the promoter, you just care about money. And it's like, well, you can say that about some, but I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a guy who's been involved and put tons of time on the mats and competed. Like, I'm not a great competitor. I don't compete a lot, but, I certainly have sparred lots and trained lots and put the time in. I care very much about these fighters, people who are putting their name and bodies on the line for us. So I'm kind of in the middle with that. Like, as a government, it's important to have a regulator and keep it, I think, regulated to a point, but also I think it's like some of it's foolishness too, right? Like it's like other sports don't have to go in this, but a big thing is like I always have to like bring myself back down to center in this business and be like, you're promoting something 90% of the population hates. Like people are taught in our society that fighting is bad now. Like I don't know why, but I'm a big believer in a punch in the face fixes a lot of problems. And you don't have to hurt somebody, but I think it's important to know that there's levels to life and that you just can't go around talking shit to people. And I think that learning a martial art and it humbles you, it teaches you a lot. So, Sean, you're in the military, and it's kind of similar to that. It teaches you, I should not say it's similar in any way, but there's that structure and the fundamentals and the things like as a kid you grow up and you learn how to be respectful to people. And so I think it's on both sides, but I'm probably rambling on a little bit, but
it's all good.
The government has a place in everything, right? And unfortunately it's like like the vaccination, man, like we're I think leading the world here. We're like close to 75.
Yeah, we're up there. We're one of the tops as far as like in Canada. I think right now it's only 10 million people. For the last numbers I saw, 10 million people haven't received their first shot yet. So it's pretty amazing.
Here they made it mandatory too. If you want to fight, you have to be vaccinated, period.
Yeah, and I know that there's some people probably with religious beliefs or anything like that where they might find some sort of contention with that.
I don't know. The thing with that though is before you continue down that path too is because I had a lot of buddies that were from Muslim Russian countries, Dagestan that were fighting in the area. They're going to school, Boston College, Boston University for like pharmaceuticals and stuff. Yeah. And they had very strict ideas about even just getting something as simple as blood work done. And the ISKA was great about having that kind of in place where you had to get your blood work done. And it presented a problem a lot of times where it's like, how bad do you want to fight? You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly what it comes down to, right? Like, if you guys want to fight, this is the rules. At the end, I try to explain it to people that like they are a regulator. Like, it's very similar to if you own a bar and you can't serve to minors or open at a certain time. Like, if you do, you're going to get fined. They're going to shut you down, and that's pretty much the same as what I've finally, like, that's how I kind of level at my head when I'm like, that guy's a dick, and I'm like, no, he's a regulator and he's just trying to look out for himself. And it's at the end of the day, and we live in this world that everything's liability and everyone's scared to death of everything. So everyone's covering their asses at all times.
That is some true words spoken, because I know you guys just had the provincial elections there, elected a new premier.
Couldn't be happier.
I know. If you were to look at some of the Facebook things, and I don't like to get into political things in this as all, but if you look at some of the Facebook chambers, you realize it was just a huge echo chamber.
100%.
Yeah, because now it's a conservative government over there. We have an election going on here federally, and it's kind of like the same thing where you see the conservatives are gaining ground. But we are totally getting off topic here altogether.
Oh, that's a fact. I'm just trying to fight for the sun is into my eyes. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's absolutely not a problem. I am going to say, though, that, I do think that if this is your livelihood, because you look at the NFL, they haven't gone yet completely to the point where you must be fully vaccinated in order to play. but it's getting there because the fines are huge. And like, if you're going to do that, you still have to like test. I think, I don't know, for now, even fully vaccinated people in the NFL, you have to test weekly. It was going to be bi-weekly. Now it's weekly. When I sit there and I think about a fight, or even in the military where they're trying to make it now mandatory, and I believe they're coming out with like a mandatory vaccination in order to be a federal employee, it starts going to your paycheck. It's an employer. You kind of got to do what the employer is saying you got to do in order to do this. So how much does it mean to you? And I understand that there's got to be some great talent that might be getting lost in this whole entire shuffle. And I can't even imagine the headaches that you're just going through in order just to get a fight out.
Well, the thing is, I'm the bad guy. You know, like the messages people send me. I got one today from somebody, a pro fighter, like you're what? Like, man, I don't make these rules. I'm a guy from a small town who loves fights, trying to run a business and make some money and move the sport. Like, it's black and white. Like, these people try to make everything like, get the fuck off the internet for 5 minutes. For God's sakes, like, go do something useful. You know what I mean? Like, it that's why it gets to a point with people. It's like, I don't know. It's like, these guys, like, they're freaking out about vaccines. It's like, if you want to stay in your house and never leave for the rest of your life, then by all means, go for it. I have no control over that, but the government is slowly going to make it so hard for you to do anything. You'll never win. So either, and I'm all about, if you're religious and you have certain things that are against it, I totally understand that. And I don't agree with necessarily, forcing everybody, but on that same note, I can't run my business properly because no one's getting vaccinated. So it's like, I can't have a full venue. So it's like, now you're hindering my business, right? Yeah. Which is the divide, because it's like, why is my business hindered based on that person who might not even come to the event?
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, it's foolish.
I see that you have pay-per-view that's available for the September 25th fight as well at 6 p.m. Atlantic. So it's at 7 Atlantic Standard Time, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. So pay-per-view. I want to hear about the pay-per-view for this fight.
You know what? Like, we've kind of because how we kind of started doing stuff is back in 2014. We started doing jiu-jitsu events. Is how kind of we got into this whole mess. We decided that it would be kind of neat that no one was even doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. There was a few people, but no one was doing like a pay-per-view. So we would take guys and girls from all over Canada or the States and fly them in, and they'd compete against our local black belts or brown belts or whatever it is on a live kind of pay-per-view. And the first few we did streaming, and we would get up, we get like 10,000 people watching the live stream, and we're like, well, okay, well, obviously we got to charge a little bit of money for this. And then we started charging a little money, and then our numbers went to like 15 real quick. Like, so it's an interesting thing, pay-per-view. And now we do pay-per-view everything. We it's hard. We don't push it until tickets are at a certain percentage. And then once we hit a certain percentage, we'll push the pay-per-view. But they're realistically, for us, it's like, if you're going to do these events, and whether it's in Hornet, sorry boys, if you're going to do these events, ADHD, you're going to do these events, amateur or pro or whatever it is, I'm a big believer in that, you should be providing them with a great experience in return. I've been to so many events, and I'm sure you both have, like, where it's like you go to the Legion or the local, whatever it happens to be.
The Armory,
or whatever. And it looks great and it's good. But for us, we were like, you know what? We have the ability to make the production look really good and the events look really good. And it's just it's a slow growth. So, we just over the years have gotten better and better. And we can, whether we video or pay-per-view, it's literally a click of a button, either or for us. So it's, I always say, and this sounds a little bit cocky, but I say, like, here we are, a couple dummies from Pictou, Nova Scotia, like small little town here, and 5,000 people, and our production's as good as anything you see on UFC Fight Pass. And but we've yet to get the call from them.
That was one of the biggest things I was impressed with, Derek. Just going through the FLA site and just be able to click and immediately get dragged to your YouTube channel and seeing just an inordinate amount of videos where you can actually see the product that you guys are putting out. Seeing the viewership on some of those videos is actually pretty promising.
Yeah.
And it's great these days for me. When I was a kid starting off, I'm 34 years old now. When I was 14, I really got into the MMA mixed submission wrestling type stuff.
Nice.
It was I was downloading everything from torrent sites for Abu Dhabi, and then staying up late to watch Pride YouTubes and stuff, Pride pay-per-views and
MMA Tracker.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It was hard out there, but nowadays it's so available to everybody. And one of the most promising things for me, again, when I was a kid, I had to bounce up to New Hampshire, an hour north of where I lived, or down to Somerville, an hour south of where I live. What is the scene like in Nova Scotia right now? With as far as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academies and dojos and stuff like that around there. Are you guys seeing the numbers really start to pick up?
Yeah, it's impressive here, man. Like I will say in our community, like my coach, Jared McIntosh, he's one of the OG guys around here himself. Peter Martell, Shane Rice, Shane's a Hickson guy. Those guys kind of all started the scene, or in the early 90s and kind of developed it. And then Peter, like Martell, they had ECC, which was a lot of a place that was the same. They'd have their own promotion based out of their own gym and get their fighters like fights kind of thing, and that was good. They were doing big events, and then it slowly kind of like Gavin Tucker fights out of here. I'm not sure if you guys know who Gavin is in the UFC, but
I love Gavin Tucker. I was really sad about that last fight. Yeah,
me too actually. So these guys, we have a great scene, and when it comes to jiu-jitsu, like I would have to say we're probably in the province of Nova Scotia, you're probably up towards a 30 clubs of just strictly jiu-jitsu and MMA. If you're talking all clubs, I bet you're pushing 50 to 60 when it comes to in a province of 1 million people. It's very big, and it's growing, but it's again growing it in the right way. Like we really want to groom people to like be respectful and talk properly, and that's the thing. I always look back to think about friends I know that made the NHL, and they weren't great speakers. They weren't like anything fancy, but they went, and one guy, he went to New Jersey actually, and he played in New Jersey and won a couple cups there. And he went and he was like, hey, Lou Lamoriello just took me and drilled it into my head what to do and how to speak and how to do these things. And, and just became successful because the more the product looks clean, fighters, everybody together, like if you're out in the public, you should be representing, like, you're a fighter, but big deal. Help the lady. Like you're just a person, man.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I had to deal with for a long time, and thank God that we had guys like George St. Pierre and like Rich Franklin, who was a school teacher. You know what I mean? Like these guys that you didn't expect to be cage fighters. So is the stick? And again, I'm far removed from the scene. I still have friends on Facebook and all that stuff, so I'm kind of like I have a peripheral view of it, but. How much are you guys still fighting the stigma surrounding, essentially cage fighting,
Yeah. Nonstop.
Yeah.
It's a get away from me, you bastard. It's nonstop, man. It's it's like it's hard to explain what it is. Like, some venues are better than others, some communities are better than others, but you're dealing with an aging population in a lot of our communities. It's people understand it, but whether they want to see it, it's a hard thing to sell, right? We still, like, I think we'll always be between probably 1,000 and 2,000 tickets, 2,500 tickets for our shows as we move around the the Maritimes here. But it's I've kind of given up on that, to be completely honest, guys. Like I just don't care what you think about us anymore. Like if you think that we're a bunch of meatheads, then maybe I am, but whatever, right? Like it's like people's opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one, right? So
of course,
I used to take a lot, and I still take it, but I've given up trying to change.
So you stopped reading the YouTube comments and just said, fuck it.
Yeah,
Just
man.
do your thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's weird. Like YouTube, we don't get, it's funny, like you say, numbers, because we don't get a lot of like push on YouTube. It's weird. I don't know, like, if our algorithm or what. Like, I'm 41 and I'm barely keeping up with posting every day, so I have no idea what the hell I'm doing sometimes. So, but like people are like, oh, your algorithm. I'm like, man, like I failed like grade 10 math. I can barely spell that, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is way beyond.
I just want to give you a fist bump on that one, man. That was like, yeah, that's me. Boom. It's like, yeah.
Oh,
You know?
I don't know.
Sean failed grade 10 everything.
Yeah.
No. Math, though. Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
I'll
some
tell you,
English. I don't
boys.
know.
This is the thing, right? Like at the end of the day, like how we get where we are, and you guys get where you are, and like everybody else gets where you are. Hard work and consistency. There's no secrets to anything.
Really good. I did want to point out something there that you said, Derek. There, I just wanted to bring this up to Reed's attention. There, you notice how Mr. Lamorello had to be talked to, and then he was giving advice there, as opposed to what. So Reed he met Lou Lamorello.
Get ready for a tangent here.
Yeah. Reed met Lou Lamorello somewhere in Boston and decided this to call him Lou. Just decided he's going to call him Lou.
Listen, he was coaching the opposing team during the playoffs. I'm a Bruins boy, standing outside of TD Garden, smoking a cigarette, getting ready to head to work, and saw Lou.
You get.
I said he was walking by himself. I'm sitting there like, what's this guy doing? He's got a suit on, no tie, unbuttoned. I was like, Lou. Derek, it didn't go great. He's a little guy, and I like to even in my placating, degenerative state here. I like to think I can handle myself, but there was a pucker effect there where I was like, oh boy.
Oh shit. He was angry.
Finally he called him Mr. Lamorello. I think he gave him just a look.
Yeah, it's funny. So Colin White is who I'm talking about, a guy.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. We're doing a sports podcast here, Derek. I don't know.
Well, yeah, true enough. Yeah, he used to deal with fighters, man.
If Brad were here, he wouldn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. If Brad was here,
Colin still works for the Devils. He's like an ambassador down there. So I think he just sits in the box and just like shows off his rings.
That's got to be the best job in hockey.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty interesting cat, that fella.
Yeah.
So so your focus, and you mentioned earlier, Derek, that you're dealing with kind of a community that's kind of aging out, right?
Yeah.
So what is your focus with getting the next generation more into it? So I just want to preface this with, I'm seeing some of these Paul brothers kind of circuses that are going on, making a boatload of money, and people are kind of money talks, and that's what's going to draw kind of people into this whole thing.
Yeah.
How do we keep everybody kind of focused on this and really getting everyone into the dojo? And frankly, at my age, my friends are all having kids. I'm seeing all their kids getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is cool. But how do we keep this thing going here? Because do you at least feel it where you're at in Nova Scotia that the next generation is ready to take up the altar, or?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that's what, if you're not working towards the future, if you're not setting up the next generation, then I don't know what you're doing. Like that to me is a big thing of why, money. Yeah, everybody, we got to eat. We all got to make money. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be in this sport if it wasn't for passion, same as you guys doing what you're doing, right? It's about passion. And so I always think it's important. And if you look at our upcoming event, we stayed busy during COVID, because in Nova Scotia, the rules are the commission looks after everything except for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So we pretty much can do whatever we want when it comes to grappling and jiu-jitsu. So we did 3 kumite events, like basically 16-man submission-only brackets in the cage to keep us going. And what we would do is we would use athletes who are fighting on our upcoming cards to keep them busy and to keep them, giving them exposure, moving on to the next. So all these people fighting on our upcoming card, even our last card, these are people with no fights or one fight or whatever. And these are the amateurs that we want to build up and groom properly and take them with us as we grow. And once they become pro and they can be an organization champion in our organization or another organization, and then move to the UFC or whatever it happens to be. Right. And so we look at us as almost like a Mooseheads. Like that transitional period where it's like, teach them how to wear the suit, teach them how to speak properly, and teach them how the fundamentals of what this game is, because like how to do a medical and not that I should be teaching them, technically their coaches should be working with them on that. But the thing is, in MMA is like, unless you're like a Tyson Chartier or a person who's a full-time coach with full-time athletes who are making you money, It's like, come on, like I have no time to be looking at this.
I'm always blown away by Mark Henry's camp down in New Jersey, where he's got, the Frankie Edgars of the world, right? And the guy runs a pizza place full time. If you've ever seen a pizza place run, it's amazing that guy has time for anything else, let alone producing world class athlete. Oh yeah, that's one of his big things. He's obsessed with pizza. Like he just makes this phenomenal pizza, I guess, and it's one of his great passions. And everyone always talks about, like, he'll dip out of a training session because he's got to go check in on the shop and make sure the crust is just right. So it's and that was one of the things. That was one of the things. Like when I was a kid and I didn't have a child, I didn't have a real job. It was phenomenal to be able to just kind of. I inundated myself. I actually had 2 jobs when I was training, but I was spending probably 4 to 6 hours a day on mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu, and trying to get that kind of work ethic into people at a young age. I know it had to be beat into me severely.
Yeah.
You get your ass whooped in the dojo. You could either say fuck this or that's never happening again. I'm gonna prepare myself a little bit better. And it is one of those things, and it does carry on into your personal life.
No question,
in a phenomenal way.
It definitely does, I'm not a guy who would ever fight on the street, man, but I'm also a guy who's like, I probably do have a little, chip on my, not a chip, but when you're a little confident, it's like, okay, like my muscles are just going to automatically take over on whatever happens. Right.
Yeah. The muscle memory. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
What's that?
That's exactly it. Training. Yeah.
You're really just beating the insecurity out of you. And then that really leads to, for me at least personally, and I was a little punk with a mouth for a long time.
Yeah,
I got in trouble when I was a kid. Parents got me into judo when I was actually 4. We're lucky here in Massachusetts.
Just wait,
Jimmy
Reed.
Pedro.
Just wait, Reed. Did you say for a long time? Because I still think you have a mouth. I don't know.
Hey, not enough to get me into a fight. I just talk shit over the internet.
Yeah, love it.
For people thousands of miles away. But we are seeing this whole thing now where Derek, you mentioned it earlier. We have this generation of people who can kind of get on the internet and talk some shit, and you don't get the whole thing of the threat of being punched in the mouth. And you boys are both Canadian, and it always reminds me of one of my favorite Canadians, Jordan Peterson, who had a quote. I'm going to butcher this, by the way, where he said, people should be monsters capable of great damage and the ability to inflict great personal harm to somebody and then not do it. That's what makes you, that's what strength is. That's what power is. And that was martial arts in essence for me, was having the ability to do it. And then also having the discipline and the strength to not in every situation. And, again, martial arts, it really, and the humility that you experience on a daily basis in a dojo, you realize there's always that guy out there. There's always that guy that's a little bit better than you, or even girl.
Or girl.
Yeah, right, dude. Even when I was getting into it, there was chicks that would just absolutely mop the floor with you. It was embarrassing.
Yeah. But it's exactly like you say, like that little bit of humility that I think everybody needs to feel. That it should be a mandatory thing. You see a lot of police places around the world, they're making jiu-jitsu mandatory, like in their station. And the thing is, here in Nova Scotia, like the cops, they're not allowed to choke people. Like they're not allowed to guillotine people. They're not allowed, so the rules are kind of against them to begin with, man. Like, that's a hard job. But like, I'll give you an example about humility. Like there's a kid who's a great kid. And I hope he listens to this. He trains at our club, and he's a great kid, up and coming kid with some talent. But he's got to learn to be more like humble. He's got this cockiness about him, and like we're trying to explain it to him, like, man, like levels, like shut your mouth, do your work, shut your mouth, do your work, like that's. And last week, I went and I rolled him and I beat the piss out of him, like on purpose, not in a bad way, like I'm not saying in a bad way, but like just I'm gonna keep tapping you out, and my coach, and like it's a thing that we're just gonna keep tapping you out now hard until you learn, like the hard way. Like if you're that's the
constructive destruction is what I like to call it.
And then they'll leave. Like some people, if they can't take that, like you said, they will leave. And that's like the people that get to that level in the UFC. If you want, lots of people want to take an Instagram picture and put that out there a fighter, but it's the stuff you do that's not on camera that's going to prove that. Whether you don't get to be a Justin Gaethje or a Connor, even though I think he's an idiot. You don't get to that level without working hard, man, and being consistent. So
that's a really good point you just pointed out there, because it's so true. The way that we were raised was that you're going to learn, and you're probably going to learn the hard way.
Don't say we. You were 80 years before Derek and I showed up. Come on.
How old are you, Sean? I'm 41. Come on.
I just turned 49 yesterday. So.
Oh, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, continue your thought, but I just,
nevertheless,
perspective.
Yeah, so you just have a look at you just have a look at what hard work gets you, what learning from your mistakes gets you. But now it's like so many people just want to be handed these opportunities, and it doesn't happen that way, because if you let it happen, you're going to get hurt real bad, you know? And that's what people don't realize. It's like, I understand that you're looking at what is there, but you're going to get hurt real bad if we just let you go. It's like, you're going to get hurt real bad.
That's the thing. It's just not a thing you can lie at in this game. This isn't a thing you can fake. Like, it's just not a, it's a real thing, So if you want to do it, you got to put the hard work in, and it's like you say about the Jake Pauls and the Conor McGregors, and I get messages every day from people like, bro, I want to fight, bro. I'm like, X, like
it just looks like an affliction T-shirt being
exactly right. Like if you're a legitimate person, I would expect your coach would be reaching out, because I know every coach in the whole I know them all, and I have very good relationships with probably 98.9 of them. And they'll all reach out and be like, hey, this guy's good. This person is working hard in the gym. They're showing up. They're helping other people in the gym. They're leading by example. That's the people that coaches want opportunities for, people that are helping in representing their club properly and giving back to the sport. Like, those are the people who should get opportunities. And for us, those are the people who will. If you're going to be out there, you'll see me post about it sometimes on social media. If you're going to be talking shit, and we don't even want anything to do with you. Like, I truly have zero interest if you if you're going to get on the mic and swear and be like this big goofball, like, save that until you get to the UFC, like when you we have 1,500 people in New Glasgow watching you. Let's just bring it down a notch here.
That goes against the whole, like, there's this kind of, and again, I don't want to blame it on Conor McGregor, because I think he's more of a symptom of, this is what makes the most money. He's clearly the biggest draw, even though the guy can't seem to win a fucking fight these days.
Yeah, but he doesn't even matter anymore. That's the thing.
But he's still the biggest. Even me, a seasoned MMA viewer at the very least, right? I still get a little bit excited when I see a Conor McGregor name.
I got to be honest though. The only reason why I get excited is I want to see him get punched in the mouth. That's it.
But Sean, you watch the fight, and every time he throws that left, you're just like, oh shit!
Yeah, I know, it's true.
He could ghost anybody at any given time. Yeah. Now the Poiriers and the Gaethjes and everyone else in the world have figured out the whole thing of throw leg kicks. With that karate stance, just doesn't work. But Derek, how damaging is a Conor McGregor at your level? You alluded to it a little bit, but like, how toxic do you think that really is? I fucking hate that word. I just said toxic.
Super toxic.
Yeah, but it's. Are you seeing it at your level? Like, I know you're getting the DMs and stuff like that, but like, have you had to pull any FLA guys aside and been like,
Oh yes, all the time. Because like, one big thing about us, we're not at the level yet. Like, again, we've only done one MMA event and then COVID, right? So we're not, and I don't ever think I don't think we'll ever be at the level where we're going to sign people and hold them until they can't. Like, I don't want that. I want people to be able to fight and stay busy and the whole goal for these people is to become a professional athlete and make a living. That's what they want to do. So why am I holding you at a level where it's like, even if I can give you 5 fights a year, you're still only making what at the highest, I don't know, maybe say you make 20 grand in 5 fights or whatever it happens to be, So being humble, man. And it's extremely important on our side of things. I tell them that. I tell lots of fighters that. I'm a guy who's lost my whole job in my whole career in travel because of COVID. And now I'm pretty much wiping old men's asses to make a living, you know, and then running this business. And so for me, it's like you got to do what you got to do, guys. And like, if you guys all think I'm sitting here making a fortune, I wouldn't be working, you know, like it's a passion like anybody else. And I always say this, we're all in this together. Like, I truly believe that. I'm just the person at the top, like leading the show, but like nothing can be done without the fighters and the team. Like, we are all in this together in this small little community. So let's make it the best we can together, so everybody gets the opportunities, and you guys and girls can continue moving your careers in the right direction to hit these goals you're trying to accomplish. Right.
So for me, it sounds like, you know, because there is this whole thing in mixed martial arts today because of the Conor McGregors and now even the Kamaru Usmans of the world are kind of doing that shit talking thing, the Colby Covingtons, right? Where that sells at such a high level, and those guys are such huge draws because of that. So there is a fine line you have to walk between the WWE and, you know, one of my favorite MMA fighters of all time. I'll never tell this to Sean on his own, but, you know, Derek's here. Ivan Salaverry, a good Toronto boy, is one of my favorite MMA fighters of all fucking time. He was my hero growing up. And
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's just quiet. He goes to get the job done, super humble. He'd have a fucking laugh about something. But there is that line between those two extremes, or even like, you know, another one of my favorites, Jeremy Horn. I know people watching have to fucking Google this shit. Those guys are long gone.
Horn, like 700 fights.
Oh, dude, yeah. He used to drive 100 miles, fight on Thursday, drive 200 miles, fight on Friday, drive another 300 miles, fight on Saturday. You know, it was crazy.
Well, it's like you said, you know, everything. It's funny, man, because like you said back in the day, like with all the smokers and all this stuff that used to happen, and it's almost like everything else. Like you see in North America, like in cities, a lot of the mom and pop shops are gone. It's all corporations. The government literally has taken everything and made everything corporate. So no one's allowed to do anything without their approval, you know. And I'm not an anti-government person, but it's also, I think, keep your mind, like, you don't have to, like, keep your nose out of everybody's business a little bit, right? So
the libertarian in me, Derek, you are singing his song.
Yeah, well, it's like Khabib always says, man. He's like, you guys think you're tough, like you cannot even fight in the streets there, like, you know. And he's right,
exactly.
Because, like, they'll arrest you, you know. He's like, we'll fight anywhere we want, you know. But it's like you talk like that, and I don't want anyone to think like, oh, these talking about meatheads, these fighters, you know, talking about fighting all the time. But like, for me, it's like a competition standpoint. It's what people like to do, and they're testing themselves, and it's safe. Again, going back to the government, it's regulated in a safe way, so no one's, you know, like at the amateur level, you can't, in Nova Scotia, for example, you cannot fight at amateur with strikes on the ground.
Yeah.
So there's no strikes on the ground here. So it's until you get to 3 fights. So it's a slow progress of teaching you things as you come through. You know, the lights are on you, the cage closes.
I respect that. I respect that, though, because, you know, you're getting some sort of feeding into that. At the same hand, though, you're under a little bit of safety. Derek, I know that your time is pretty valuable. I believe we were talking before, and you have some prior engagements there to get to later there.
I do. Yeah, my phone's about to die too.
Yeah. I wanted to say, first off, thank you so much. Reed, thanks for coming on here, man. So some great questions.
Sean, before you sign off, I'm not going to let Derek off that quickly. All right, Derek, I got 2 questions.
Oh,
all right. So who is the guy or gal to watch that you guys are kind of cultivating in FLA? You know, so if you look at this September 25th card, what's the fight that you cannot miss, in your opinion?
You know, there's a few really great amateur fights that I'm really looking forward to. The last 3 on the card are fights that I'm really excited to see. The main event is Jordan Noseworthy out of Alberta versus Hank Anderson out of New Brunswick, which is a heavyweight title fight. That'll be really good. And then the co-main event are 2 guys. They're probably 2 of the best jiu-jitsu guys on the scene out here in the Maritimes, and they're both brown belts. And they're both guys who have fought each other in a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments throughout the years that I've put on, and their records are kind of pretty much even. So now this is they're both 1-0 in MMA. So that's kind of the co-main event. Drake Farrell versus Matthew Tarantini. Matthew's from New Caledonia, which is an island down by Australia. And he's fighting Drake Farrell here, which is a kid. He won our last 2 Kumite events back to back. the number 1 and 2. So yeah, that'll be a really really high level, great fight. So really.
All right. So my other question is, I want to plug FLA's great merch shop. Sharp looking hoodies there. I like that you guys with the full zip. Do you make one big enough for Sean?
Yes, whatever. Yeah, whatever, boys. Whatever sizes you need, just let me know.
Double XL?
We'll shipped out to you guys.
All right, so on that note, check out their pay-per-view, September 25th at 7 p.m. Atlantic time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and check out their fucking shop because they actually have very sharp gear. I'm actually I got a couple of hoodies in my cart here because fall's right around the corner, and I'm such a hoodie boy. So
dude, man, that's very kind of you. We appreciate it. Again, we're trying to give these amateur and pros. We do, most of our cards are pro am. That's our whole idea. We're always going to be pro am. 3 or 4 pro fights, and then the amateurs building up behind them. So that shop, we want to make it legitimate. We want people to feel like they're getting the right product back, and our fans, we want to make sure that they're kind of joining along in the process. So I appreciate the support and the plug, man. And I apologize for looking like a bag of milk right now, but
you look like a guy who's got to coach some jiu-jitsu and MMA classes.
That's it. Listen, Derek, my goodness, man, this is a great interview. I really enjoyed this time. I want to have you back at some other time here.
Anytime, boys. Yeah, anytime. And we if I can, send you guys anything for like a contest or whatever, by all means, I'd love to stay in touch.
You know what?
Let's do something closer to the pay-per-view so we can we can hype that up a little bit.
Yeah,
I would love to do that. Yeah, that would be awesome because I really want to plug this too. I really do believe in what you're doing. I think it's a great idea. I know there's so many different organizations of it like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it keep going. Absolutely, the plug is going to be there. Much love, Derek. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you're a busy man. This guy, he literally told me I have to teach this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class to come on. Hasn't even showered. What a great man. Wow.
Hey, man. Ringworm through the phone, not pop. All right, boys. Lots of love. I appreciate the support and kind words, and hopefully everything's good in Lowell, Massachusetts. I appreciate it.
Always
and
great.
Also in Toronto, boys. And for
keep
sure,
fighting the good fight.
Let's do it again.
Fight.
That sounds great.
Thanks, Derek.
All right. Thanks, Derek.
So, yeah, Sean, you sexually harassed me several times, and I don't know how to feel about that. We're recording. Oh, shit. What's up, Sean?
Oh, my gosh, this guy. Hey, all right. First off, Reed, it's been a while, man. Last time we saw you, you had less hair, less beard. It was the episode finale, 49th episode. We didn't have you on the 50th.
I had my Club Du Hockey shirt on. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Club Du Hockey.
And then you had to shut me down because they knocked the fucking the Marlies out of the fucking playoffs. And you were hashtag sad about that. It's messed up. I thought you were going to be a man about it and let me back on sooner. I didn't realize I was in timeout because I decided to disparage the terrifying reign of the fucking Maple Leafs. Embarrassing. Everybody at home watching GBS right now. Disgusting. I'm a Bruins fan. I put on a fucking Habs shirt, and this guy had to sequester me for months, literal months. Unbelievable. I show up. I drink all the beer I fucking can. I drank Canadian gross Canadian whiskey from like 100 years ago during that show. I put out. And that's how you treat me? Unbelievable.
Come on, man. I was in the middle of a move. But anyways, I digress.
Sean, you could do this from anywhere. That's the beauty of podcasting. Everyone knows it. You know it. We all know it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it looks like you've been well. I've been following you on Facebook there. It's like I'm trying to keep up with what Tom Cruise is up to because you don't call, you don't write. And, I don't know what you're up to, but it looked like you're wearing fun shirts and eating a lot of good food. So,
man, Derek Clark was awesome, eh?
Derek Clark's a fucking he's one of the guys you need in a position like his.
Yeah.
Running a promotion. And again, we talked about Calvin Cater. He's another one of those cats that Calvin ran a promotion up this way. And, he's such a positive influence in the sport of mixed martial arts. And it's so good to see that, our sister country up there, our hat Canada has, great minds in place, continuing that tradition of just smart, intelligent people, lighthearted, but they can fuck you up. Yeah. Derek would beat the shit out of you. I don't care how many Krav Maga classes you take a week. Derek will wipe the fucking floor with you.
I think so too, man. He seemed pretty intense. I like him.
He'd fuck me up, but I think he's farther from me than he is from you. So.
It goes hunting. Man, all right. Quickly, 5 minutes. We got a UFC fight night. Man, Edson Barbosa.
This is a free card tonight?
Free card tonight.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah. Edson Barbosa and all right, you're gonna have to help me
say that name. Say it.
Giga Chikadze.
He's 13-2. You should.
I should know it.
I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. You're from one of those countries where the names are silly. It works out. Canada.
Man, there. I mean, honestly, for a free fight, there's a lot of good stuff here. Like Brian Battle, Gilbert Urbina.
Dude, they got Smile and Sam Alvey on the undercard on the prelims.
Yes.
For a free event.
For a free event, man. It's Sam Alvey against Willie Determined. This is gonna be a good one here, I think.
So when was the last time you watched a UFC event? Because I know you've been in flux.
Yeah,
when was the last
one was actually Cannonier. It was Cannonier Gastelum. So it was last week.
Jack Cannonier and Kelvin Gastelum. Yeah.
So I saw that one there. I did not see Sean Strickland against Uriah Hall. Did not see that. I did not see the Sanhagen Dillashaw fight either. So, all
right. So I know the point is to kind of hype this up a little bit. Yeah. But Gastelum lost another fight.
Yeah.
He's the most talented loser I've ever seen in my life.
It's crazy, right? Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, he's got it all going for him. He's got the Mexican heritage. He's a phenomenal fucking wrestler. He's a tenacious little bastard, or a big bastard, I guess. But he's 5'9", so he's a little to us. He's got all the skill and talent in the world. Does he have the yips? Does he need to see a sports psychologist? Like, what is the deal?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's because it's not a gas tank thing.
No.
I talked with my other good buddy, Mike Gendron, who we should have on this show when we're talking MMA someday. We were talking about Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee's gas tank goes away, and being tired makes cowards of us all. You know what I mean? So it's like you can see what the issue with Kevin Lee is. Kelvin Gastelum's got a phenomenal gas tank. I don't know why this guy can't fucking buy himself.
Oh no! And I mean, Cannonier is not a slouch. I understand that. And in the fight game, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But Gastelum is pedigree material. You know what I mean? So when you see a guy like that lose right now free on a frequency, you have to wonder. Does he need to see a sports psychiatrist? That's what happened with George St. Pierre after that loss to who's that trainer right now there in New York? He's got his own podcast there, man. Man, he said that George St. Pierre was drinking wine and cheese all the time. He's a New York City American buddy there. He was a UFC. He was a tough enough competitor there. I think the second one. Why can't I think of
what you're talking about?
Yes, he was champion for a minute.
Michael Bisping?
Oh, he was welterweight champion for a minute.
Bisping was middleweight champion for a minute.
Yeah,
for a minute.
For a minute. Like literally, he fought George St. Pierre the next time and he lost it.
Oh, Matt Serra.
There we go. That's the
don't
guy.
Talk about Matt. Show some fucking respect.
Oh,
How dare
man.
you?
He had no respect for George. He
knocked George the fuck out.
He did, because George walked in there thinking he was Tyson. I don't know what he was thinking there at that moment.
Well,
man, oh man.
He played a little game called "Fuck Around and Find Out." That's what he did. And Matt Serra's a black belt. You don't want to go to the ground with him. You don't want that smoke. And then apparently he's also one of the baddest dudes in the fucking planet with those hands.
He knocked him out. It just knocked him out. And so St. Pierre had to go see a sports psychiatrist after that because it was just like it was so devastating to him. So maybe Gastelum needs to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe he does.
He's had his last 6 fights. He has 1 win against a guy I've never heard of before. And now, granted, the loss before this Jared Cannonier loss was to Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker is,
not a slouch. Not a slouch. And that was a potential that you can go fight for the title.
Yeah. You get to be the guy that gets fucked up by Izzy.
That's it.
One of those fights. But again, Gastelum's losing these decisions. It's always like, I know he's got the finish in him and stuff like that, but I really do think it's the yips, and I don't know how to. You're gonna have to change the name of this when you drop it on Facebook too. What the fuck is up with Calvin Gastelum? Because this is a conversation about that now. But he is the most frustrating person for me in mixed martial arts today to watch, where you're just like, you have it all, just do it, and he's like, no, I'll do 50% of it and lose.
I don't understand it. I totally don't. Well,
all right, so what's your favorite? What's your favorite thing in MMA right now? We were just on with Derek Clark. We're talking about the UFC. We haven't been talking to the people for a very long time. At least I haven't. What's going on in the MMA world that you're just loving?
Volkanovski, Brian Ortega. It's about to happen. Excited. I am super excited for that.
What do you think of that one?
Man, I think Volkanovski's going to win, but I am rooting for Ortega. I am. I'd like to see Ortega win that. Don't think he will.
T-City's a phenomenal guy. That was a tough one for me because Volkanovski, I think he's got this chip on his shoulder. I think he's got that little guy chip on his shoulder where he's just trying to prove everybody wrong. And he's always the underdog, even though he's the champion. It's like, what the fuck? Who else do you have to prove? He comes out a great team, Tiger Muay Thai there in Thailand. Phenomenal athlete. But T-City's got that. He's got a little bit of the Diaz brothers in him. You know what I mean? He's got that.
I mean, you saw him after that Covington fight, right? He fought Covington, and he dealt with Covington. So to me, it's like, okay, man, go do your thing at this point, But
he fought who?
Colby Covington, I believe. Yeah.
Brian Ortega fought Colby Covington.
Oh no! I'm
wrong weight class. You're about 25 pounds off.
Covington was fighting on the same night. That's what ended up happening there. Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Are you talking about Frankie Edgar?
Yes, that was it. That was the last fight there. That was back in October.
No. So Max Holloway was the fight he lost in December.
That's right.
And then Chang Sung Young was who he beat in October. That was the UFC fight night.
There we go.
Korean Zombie.
Oh.
But, I mean, the guy looks like an absolute fucking genius half the time. He's got one loss.
Yeah.
That's insane because I feel like we've been watching this kid for a long time. He doesn't have a shit ton of fights. He's got 17 fights in total, which is weird these days, but
one no contest, exactly it.
Yeah, T-City he's legit, and he comes from a great Gracie camp. Hard to look past a guy like that. I think you're right overall though. That's the fight to be talking about these days. Because again, when we were on with Derek, we were talking about the Conor McGregor effect with MMA cards, where you see him and you're just like, oh, and
that's
then it just But that's the fake titted stripper in a yellow Corvette. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it'll be fun for like 5 minutes until she destroys your credit and tells your wife. Whereas you've got all these other guys, this is the division that they were holding. Like
this is the one that I'm looking forward to now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the featherweight division is very promising. It's very tough. It's not the lightweight division, but it's one of those divisions where you're just like, how the fuck does anybody take a belt and maintain that? But what was Volkanovski's last fight at this point?
It's been a while because he was injured. They were supposed to fight a few months back until he was injured. This is just happening now. So that's why I'm also really intrigued about this too, because we've been waiting for this fight to happen. Yeah. So,
Volkanovski, good luck. Look at his record.
It's ridiculous.
Holloway, Aldo, Mendez, Elkins. It's like
it's a who's who. It's a who's who. Then you have Nick Diaz against Robbie Lawler. That's going to be. I mean, it's a legacy fight.
I won't believe it till I see it. Just what the world did to Nick Diaz for marijuana is criminal. This guy lost some of the best years of his life.
Yep.
It's insane. And I was literally just watching their first meeting in the UFC recently,
Yeah.
And Nick Diaz, that's where he like really premiered that Stockton slap in the worst way against one of the most dangerous human beings on the fucking planet. When Robbie Lawler was ruthless Robbie Lawler.
Yes.
And Robbie Lawler he had some moments where you're like, Nick is in a lot of goddamn trouble. And he did not give a flying fuck.
It's going to be a bloodbath, I guarantee you. It's going to be lots of blood, lots of fighting. It's going to be great.
Honestly, I think that fight, I think Nick Diaz ices him in the first or second round.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't
It'll be interesting. We'll have to get back
anymore.
and talk about this then after the fact. Because I think it's going to be a bloodbath. We'll go 5. And I think it's going to be a decision probably for Diaz. But it's hard to say.
Both of the Diaz brothers are gas tanks. So
they are.
There's no, you have to put them out, you know. Conor McGregor had to get on a goddamn bicycle to win that fight, you know, just running backwards, like, because they're very high level jiu-jitsu guys.
And then look at this, Curtis Blades against Rosenstrike.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like a great fight.
Curtis Blades is another one of those guys that's kind of frustrating to watch sometimes because you're just like, just win 3 fights in a row, and you'll have it all. Just win 3 fights in a row. He's got the
potential. He's like what we we're just talking about with Gastelum. He's got all that potential. He can do it, but every now and then he gets caught. And Rosenstrike, I mean, that's the problem with the heavyweight division is that you got these guys, just one punch power. That's all you need. That's it. It's over.
So is Francis Ngannou now, is he like legit the guy? You know, because I've always believed in Ngannou, and he's on a 5-fight win streak, including the greatest heavyweight of all time, Stipe Miocic, and also the most underappreciated and underrated UFC athlete of all time, Stipe Miocic. But is he legitimate now? Is he really gonna? And again, he's got
to fight Cyril Gane. He's got to fight him now.
That 5-fight win streak was TKO, KO, TKO, KO, KO. So you say Cyril Gane is the fight, and then we're done questioning the efficacy of a Francis Ngannou as a heavyweight champion.
Francis Ngannou is the heavyweight champion. He beat the best heavyweight of all time. I
said the efficacy of it.
Yeah,
that's a heavy crown to wear. And again, you look at a guy like Stipe who was able to hold it, lose it, and then retain it. I
think you need the rubber match with Stipe in order to get that. I do. You need the rubber match.
Sean, this time off, you've gained some wisdom. Because I feel like 2 months ago you would have said some bad shit, crazy shit. And you just, I'm so proud. That's,
man.
I don't even know what to say right now.
I'll take that. Because maybe it's just his 49th year. I'm just gaining some wisdom.
You finally got that wisdom.
I don't know.
Hey, you need to change the guys. I know you changed the GBS, your profile photo to that tunimation thing that you did there.
Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to go back to when you had that ball bearing necklace on when you were, I don't know, doing Tears for Fears covers or whatever the fuck you were doing.
You
back
like that, eh?
That was a good look.
That was a lot later then, though.
I don't know what kind of music you guys were playing, but I was into it. Was it like some flogging Molly type American?
No. We were alternative band. Yeah.
What does alternative mean?
Well, that's a 90s term for like
Soundgarden?
Yeah, there we go. Like that. Yeah.
Please, for the love of fuck, tell me there's a CD somewhere.
There is. I have it. Yeah.
Oh, Sean. Please, for the love of fuck, upload it.
You want it?
Yes. Upload it. I have a OneDrive, I have a Dropbox, I have a box, whatever the fuck you need. Just get it. I need to listen to this.
I will.
Do you sing it all on that album?
I'm the lead singer, so.
Guys, Beer Sports. The gods are good.
Well, we'll get it out there. You know what? One day, because like our intro song, that's actually one of our songs. So, yeah. So,
My next question is, when are we going to start the new Guys Beer Sports band here? Because you got a drummer.
Hey, that's true. My goodness, we can do this. We can do this.
We can do this.
Oh my gosh.
We should jam and we should live stream it on Twitch.
I don't think we'll make any money, but I'll do it. I'm down for it.
Someone will pay for that. I'll pay for it. I don't give a shit. I'll be donating the entire time. We could do some hip hop standards, and we could have Brad rap.
Oh, I think we got something here. I think so. I think so. Man, you got it a whole. This is great. I'm actually stoked about this.
All right, so this is what you had to look forward to, GBS. It's a new season. Sports are finally fucking back. We're out of this summer slump. Sean's finally settled into his new bear cave there. Poor Joanna. He's probably farting up the place. And it's so good to finally be back here seeing my good, unseasonably tan buddy, my brother from another mother. Yeah. Love you so much.
I love you too, buddy. Finally. Man, you know what? I'm glad to have you back. I just can't wait. This season's going to be great. It's going to be epic. Live sports.
We have a lot to talk. We have a lot to talk about in football and hockey.
It's all coming. It's crazy. Crazy. All right, boys. Well, when I say boys, I'm also speaking to myself. I don't know.
And the girls.
Very weird. And the girls. That was very strange. But I gotta say, peace out, my friend. All right. There we go. Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
All right, man. Talk soon.
Peace. Man, you guys, great job. Love that interview. Welcome back.
Thanks, man. That was super.
You didn't change your shirt though, so that's
isn't that awesome?
That going for you? Yeah. Fantastic, Sean. Let's close this thing up here. You have a one-on-one question. I have one for you.
All right, you give me yours. Give me yours.
Okay. If you had to choose between giving up watching your favorite sport, but being able to eat whatever you wanted to, or you can only watch your favorite sport, but you have to eat less than 2,000 calories a day and it has to be green, like vegetables, which one do you choose? Sean's got his thinking beard on, everybody.
2,000 calories is pretty low, buddy.
I know.
I guess the sports it is, because I could eat already. I've cut back my calories right now and all that good stuff. So yeah, sports it is. I'm sorry. No. I don't know. That's hard though, because I do get a cheat day. So
clearly you've had quite a few cheat days.
There was a whole year where it was a cheat year, but it was. Yeah. Oh man. Why would you put me in the situation? Okay, I'm going to go with sports. I'm sorry.
It's fun for me.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. If there's a Gestapo or if there was a machine gun to my head, I don't know how I'd do it. But yeah. But I figure, as an American saying goes, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, because I would definitely try to cheat something in there during that bet for sure.
That's how it works.
Good question.
Here we are.
All right. My one-on-one question to you is actually to do with the CFL yet again. And just really wanted to get your reaction on this. So my question, well, I'll just tell you the thing that happened, and I would then go on if you were, my one-on-one question would be if you were the commissioner for the CFL. Right. So Toronto Argonauts had to cancel their game this Thursday because Alberta, which like Edmonton Elks, right, from the province of Alberta. Alberta is the Texas of Canada, okay? So no masks, anti-vaxxers. And hey, I love you guys in Alberta. I know that the cases are going up. It's all bad. But for COVID. But the team, I think they couldn't suit up enough people to go out and play. Because that's how many people contracted COVID, so they had to cancel the game. If you're the commissioner of the CFL, would you fine the team, or would you just try to find out a way in order to make this work? Because this is a crazy season and it's the CFL and we need as much as we can get in here.
Well, your first problem is that your game is on Thursday.
Right.
I'm assuming it's not Thursday night football like it is here and then with the NFL. I imagine that it's just everyone plays on Thursday. Because I think the little league probably needs the field on Saturday, so they had to put the pros back on Thursday. It's kind of how I view it.
Well, it's weird because the CFL goes all weekend, so it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, because they're working around midget league schedules, right? And field hockey and that kind of shit. So anyway, there's that. But like, I know it's the CFL's first season of pandemic, but you have to have drawn from other leagues, right? And what we've known for the leagues that are going now that experienced it last year is that if you can't get your team in line and field the team, that's a loss. Because the whole world knows now the best ways to prevent this. Now, instituting that policy and those things, that's a whole other story, right? We won't get into that. But the science is there for how to limit that, and it's locking down your facility, masks, all those things. So if you can't field the team, you should get the loss. So Toronto should is it their first win of the season?
No, it would be their third, buddy. We're on a roll.
How many games?
See, we had to slow down. I think we're only doing a 17-game season this year.
But how many games are you in?
So that would have been week number 4. So
you're 3-1. Good for you. Good for you. Better than the Blue Jays.
Argos.
Yeah. All right, kids. With that, that's the end of episode 2. Glad you're back. Glad we're here. Always a good time. Kids, until next time, be good or be good at it.
Righto. Hey, fist bump.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.